All right, hello and welcome to episode 10 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I am your co-host, Juan Martinez. And over here to my left or my right, was out in the streets during the 99 and the 2000s. It's Jacques.
That's true. What up?
So, Jacques, where were you out there in the 99 and the 2000s?
Where was I?
Where were you?
I was here. I was in I was in Pacoima. I was in Pacoima in the 99 and 2000.
Yeah. Do you remember the first time you heard that song? Back that ass up.
I don't remember the first. I imagine I was in a club somewhere. Like that's the only. I imagine I had to be out. Yeah, or I don't know. Maybe probably. Maybe I heard. I don't know. Maybe I was on a mixtape or something. I don't know. It had to be something like that, though.
It's one of those, right? Yeah. I think I first heard it like in high school, and it was like someone was playing it, and it was like, oh, all right, well that's pretty cool. I'm sure like the proctor's gonna come by and like confiscate your radio or whatever. But I was like, oh, that's good. And then I started finding about like Juvenile and all those guys, and I was like, okay, well that's a different vibe. That's a different thing.
They had a thing going, man. They were dope for a long time.
Yep. Shout out to the Hot Boys and all of that. The Cash, is it Cash Money or was it? Oh no, wait, no. What was their group back then? I forget what it was.
Cash Money Millionaires.
It was Cash Money Millionaires. Yeah. Okay, I was thinking of somebody else. No Limit or whatever. With the Master P.
Oh
tank.
yeah.
See, Jacques, like I grew up in a very different area. I was in the 909, so I was around like people who weren't really well versed in the game and everything. So I was just like, all my experience was basically watching it on cable on like MTV or like BET or something. So I'm like, oh, that's cool.
I respect that. Okay. I'm not mad at that. I respect it.
I lived a very sheltered life before college is what I'm trying to get at.
Got you. It happens to the best of us. I'm not mad.
Yeah,
you can't choose your high school. You're a kid. You're a kid. You're just doing what your parents told you to.
Yeah, that's true. I really couldn't choose my high school as much as I would have wanted to. But anyways, moving on to the show, Jacques. The NBA season just kicked off last night. We're recording this. Well, no, not last. Was it last night? But anyways, yeah.
No, two nights ago. Let's go Lakers. Let's go Lakers.
And I know we need to talk about. We're going to talk later about our 17-time world champion Los Angeles Lakers. But we have to talk about the JV team, man. The Clippers. Yeah. They just opened their new Intuit. Is it Stadium or Dome? I think
Intuit. I think it's called the Intuit Dome.
Yeah, I think it's called. Yes.
Yeah.
And I watched the game last night against the Phoenix Suns, and I got to say, I was pretty impressed by the setup.
So the dome is nice, but from some of the things that I saw, some of the things that I saw on social media, it seemed like there was a lot of empty seats in the building.
Are you just saying that because we're Laker fans, or are you saying that?
No. I'll send you a clip. Yeah, it was a topic of conversation in a couple of the group chats I'm in.
Oh, really? You had like people there? Yeah. You had like some friends who were there? Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it was very much the final thought was, hey, they tried. Great effort. That was the energy. Yeah.
They tried. I don't know, man. Like, because I was watching the game and it seemed like it was pretty loud and happening out there in the game.
Of course, I think they're going to make it look like that on TV, but I think if you were actually, in the building, that you saw a lot of seats that were not full.
I did notice like there was like a little bit like little pockets, but I figured that was like, just people outside of their seats. But I had no idea. You figured like first game in a new arena. It'd be a sellout, regardless of like Kawhi Leonard's not playing and he's gonna be out indefinitely. Who knows how long that's gonna be?
It's the Clippers, bro. It's the Clippers. Like no shade. Not even trying to throw shade, but that's it's what we expect from the Clippers, right? Like we don't like. Did you legitimately expect that the Clippers would have a full house, every seat sold out. Legitimately.
Well, opening night, Jacques, those first game in the new arena, you figured at least that would be sold out. I'm not expecting every night. Like, I don't think when, say, the Kings are in town, I don't think anybody's going to care. But you would figure at least for opening night, it's the first game in that brand new spanking $2 billion, arena Steve Ballmer paid for. You figure it would sell out?
Hey, you're more optimistic than me on this one. Like, it's not, and I'm not seriously. I'm not trying to throw shade at all, but I just don't. There's no part of me that was like, oh, the Clippers are going to sell this out tonight.
Wow.
There's no part of me that thought that.
Yeah. Oh, do you think, like, if it was, say, not the Phoenix Suns, if it was, like, say, like a more, well, I mean, which is weird because, like, you think the Phoenix Suns, they got KD, they got Book, that would be enough of a reason for people to come out. Like, because the reality is, like, people go to Clipper games to see the other team.
Yes.
That's always been the case, even when they were good. Even during, like, the CP3 Blake Griffin days, they were a hell of a lot more affordable than Laker tickets. So if you wanted to, like, go see whatever, you wanted to see LeBron, you wanted to see KD, you go to the Clipper game, here in LA. Yep. So I figured, with the fact that it's the new arena and everything, it's KD, that would be enough. But I guess that is not the case. I guess it wasn't the case according to your sources.
No, hey, you're more optimistic than me. And to be fair, I didn't watch the game.
Mm-hmm.
I just choose to do other things with my time than watch the Clippers play on TV. Not again, no shade. I'm just not a fan of the Clippers. Like, they're not. I love that they rep LA. That's cool. I just don't watch them. I just don't watch their games.
Yeah, I would say I'm more like Clippers agnostic, where it's like, they're here. I might as well.
Yeah. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I don't throw the subtle shots like you do.
I'm not trying to throw shots. I'm not trying to. I'm just being honest. I don't watch a lot of Clippers games. Like, there would have to be something
no one does,
spectacular. There would have to be something really crazy going on for me to be like, oh, I'm gonna watch the Clipper game tonight. Like, I don't set my schedule around watching the Clipper games, like, at all.
Not a lot of people do, as it turns out. But the thing is, though, Jacques, do you think, like, say, like, Wemby's in town, and there was an opportunity, like, hey, someone hits you up, like, hey, let's go watch Wemby or something, or somebody, just any particular player that you haven't seen in person yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Could that get you out there?
Yeah, I'm not saying I won't go to a Clipper. I might go to a Clipper game this year. Like, I'm not saying I wouldn't go to the game. Like, I still enjoy basketball. Like, I'm just not, like, a fan of their team. It would be like I wouldn't go to a Kings game either. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not a fan of the Sacramento Kings. Like, there's no reason for me to go watch them play. Like, shout out to De'Aaron Fox. Like, congratulations, bro. But I just don't. Although I kind of feel like they're going to be good this year, so I should probably watch my mouth.
They got DeMar,
talking
so,
about. Yeah. So. Shout out to DeMar. Like, I would go if the Clippers played the Kings, I would go to that game because I love watching DeMar play.
So, and DeMar there play. It is. Like, we're there to see the other team.
Right. Yeah. There's no one really on the Clippers that piques my interest enough where I want to tune in to see what they're doing.
Yeah, and we've seen enough of James and Kawhi. Like, we see James, like, back in the days in Drew League. We've seen him so many times there. And Kawhi, we've seen Kawhi, like, in different instances, and like when he was on the Spurs and all that. So, there's the novelty of, like, seeing, like, a new player or anything like that. Just, it's not there anymore. So, but I would like to go out to the Intuit Dome at some point this season, just to be, like, part of it, just to see the feel and, like, to get a
just to see it.
Just to get an idea about that wall, whatever it is, that thing they're hyping up, because you see it on the TV and you're like, well, it looks kind of different from, like, what it would be from, like, a typical arena, like, the way it's set up, it looks like it's vertically, the way that it's set up, it looks like it's just like a literal wall of people. But I don't know, like, I need to see it in person to really get a feel for it, because, like, on TV it looks fine, but it doesn't look that dramatically different from what you would expect from, like, an arena. So, but it was pretty loud, so I'll give them that. But, maybe that was just, like, them really playing up, like, that area of the arena, like putting the microphones there, so that's really loud.
Yeah, I feel like they're forcing a lot there.
Oh wow.
That not again not see, now people are gonna think I'm just hating because I'm a Lakers fan, but it feels like they're forcing a lot of the energy, and it's not genuine energy, if that makes sense.
Okay, but do you think over time though, because even I kind of have my doubts though, but like the Clippers are going to Inglewood, and that's Laker country. I mean that
Right.
is like 100% Laker diehard country, man. And there was a part of me that was like, is that really a good move? Wouldn't it serve them better to go to like Anaheim or like somewhere in Orange County or go back to San Diego or something like that, right? Like I think,
Right.
but to actually go to Inglewood, like, do you think over time, like I'm not saying like years from now, but like they take their time, they really do what they need to do to like build themselves up in the community and really
Mm-hmm.
get people involved. Like, do you think there's a possibility down the line where the Clippers could actually just be that team in Inglewood? Or do you think it's just it's too much Laker love there that it's going to be either damn near impossible or it's going to take so long and so much winning? That's the other thing too. Is like the Clippers need to win at some point.
That's part of it. That's part of it. I think can this be a 2-team town? I don't know. I don't think, because is there any other place that has 2 teams? I guess technically the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks. I guess that's technically the same city.
Yeah, but I feels like the Brooklyn, it's even worse for Brooklyn than it is for the Clippers here in LA. It seems like here with do you think so? You think
Why would
like
you
more
say
people,
that? Why would you say that?
I don't know, like because you hear the jokes, you hear like people talk about it, like you listen to podcasts or something, and like people don't care about Brooklyn the way because people look at the Nets as a Jersey team who just like transplanted to Brooklyn, where but
Right.
New York is just a Knicks town, no matter how bad they've been or how like they've made terrible decisions through the.
Yeah.
So,
But I don't feel like New York Knicks, the Knicks fans, or the city of New York. I don't feel like New York feels the same way that LA feels about the Clippers. Like I think they love the Knicks, and they go, all right, Brooklyn's here. They're here. Brooklyn's here. It's Brooklyn. They're in Brooklyn.
I know.
But I feel like here, yeah, it was terrible. But I feel like here, people are like, oh no, I'm a Lakers fan. Oh, we do have another team. That's right, the Clippers. Sorry, that didn't. There are some diehard Clippers fans. Shout out to Shu Hefner and
Air Mag. And that's
and
about
I think
it.
that's all. But they're a team. They're a team that plays in the they're the Los Angeles area Clippers, I think, is how we should. No, to be fair, no. Like, shout out to the Clippers, great organization. Steve Ballmer's obviously doing amazing things, but I don't know. At this point, I'm not sure what it would take for them to fill a stadium, to fill the dome, or for them to sell out the dome. I don't know if they'll. I'm not sure they'll sell out the dome
On a consistent
this
basis.
year, unless on a consistent, especially on a consistent basis, unless something amazing happens. Something amazing is going to have to happen for them to sell out.
Well, they need that transcendent player. Like, the closest they had during the back in the days was like Blake. Like, if they could get like another Blake type of player, who could like bring in the people, that could happen. Like, Kawhi was supposed to be that guy, but he's way too injured nowadays to ever really be that person, and he doesn't have that personality to really like bring in the people the way that Blake used to.
Right. I mean, it's going to be a challenge for them, and it was a lot of money to build them their own stadium. I'm not sure how that was justified.
Shout out to
I know.
Steve Ballmer.
I don't know how. I guess it's his team, and he has to. He wants them to feel that way, and maybe this is what they needed. Maybe this is the type of money you need to spend in order to get them their own fan base and separate them from like being second tier to the Lakers. Maybe this is what they need to get their own individual personality. like back when they used to play at the sports arena when the Lakers played like at the Forum and stuff like that. So maybe this is what it needs. We'll have to see. I hope they do. I don't wish ill on any team that has anything to do with Los Angeles. So I do wish them well. And we'll just see how things mature, I guess, in the coming years.
You heard it here, people. Jacques Slade says Steve Ballmer's trying to buy a fan base.
No, I don't think he's trying to buy a fan base. But I do think he knew he had to separate them from
right, of course,
the Lakers house. They couldn't continue to play in the same gym.
Speaking of the Lakers house, can you imagine what that place is going to be when the Lakers show up? Can you imagine that wall? God. Can you imagine what the vibes are going to be like when the Lakers show up? Like you've got like people who are Lakers fans or like true purple and gold Laker fans showing up there. They're gonna try to get on that wall, man. They're gonna try to get out there and like it's not gonna feel like a home game for the Clippers. Not that it ever did. Not that it ever did.
It never does.
It never does. But it's gonna feel doubly weird when the Clippers have their own arena. Their $2 billion arena, and it's gonna be littered with Laker fans,
littered with purple and gold. We'll see. When do they play? Hold on, let me look it up right now. When do they play the Lakers?
I almost kind of want to be there for that first game, for that first time the Lakers step foot on that dome. I think I kind of want to be there. I kind of want to get the energy and see what it's gonna be like when the Laker fans are out in full force, just to show the Clippers what's up.
Yeah. Jeez, they don't play the Clippers until January.
January? Oh wow! Like at the Dome.
Yeah, so they play them on the 19th, on January 19th, on February 4th, and then they're at Staples on the 28th and the 2nd.
Oh wow! So it's gonna be a while. So they're building us up.
Yeah.
Like you've got.
To be fair, it's probably easier to get to Inglewood than it is to get downtown, so they have that going for them.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on where you're at, though. Like here,
I guess it depends on where you are. Yeah,
I think it'd actually be easier for me to get to Staples than it would be to Inglewood. Now that I think about it, but
I mean,
it just depends.
Staples is closer, but I mean, I'm just saying, like with traffic and everything, like I imagine Inglewood's a lot easier to get around.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows?
Well,
Who knows?
Well,
Steve Ballmer knows.
Steve Ballmer, shout out to him. Let us hook us up with tickets to like a luxury box or something. That'd be great. But after what we just talked about,
right. The way we just demeaned the team. Yeah, he'll be all over that. He's like, yeah. I'll talk to my people.
Yeah, talk to my people. Yes. Well, moving on to the real team in Los Angeles, the Lakers. And so they had their season opener, did well, won against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and we finally got it. We finally got it out of our system. Bronny James made his debut with LeBron. Everybody had their moment, and now it's past. I think we can all finally move on with our lives and kind of get back to the actual work of like seeing if Bronny can actually make it in the league, because I feel like I think it's pretty clear now that Bronny needs a lot of work, and he's gonna have to earn his stripes in the G League, or wherever. It's probably not gonna be
interesting to see how much smaller he is than his dad.
Yeah, it is, right?
I didn't I was just, when I saw that, I was like, whoa. All right, okay.
You figure like a little bit of the height, a little taller maybe.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I thought he was gonna be. I thought he was definitely thought he was a little bit taller, but my hope is that he earns his stripes. Obviously he's riding on the coattails of his father. Congrats to him. Plenty of other people have done it before. He's not the first, and he won't be the last.
Yeah, he's not the first Nepo baby for sure.
Yeah. So I'd love to see him, earn his stripes, get a couple of points, and maybe it's not this year, maybe it's not next year, but maybe a couple of years down the line, he grows into his body, understands the game a little bit more, especially at that level, and he just comes in and balls out. I would love to see him ball out for a game.
Yeah, and the thing is like Bronny is not, and I just said Nepo baby, but I didn't mean that as pejorative for Bronny. He seems like the type of kid who is actually out there willing to do the work, seems pretty
Yeah,
humble, and is not out there acting like I deserve any of this because I am the son of LeBron James. Now it seems like he's really
yeah,
out there to really trying to, earn his way and like, try to actually make it to the league. I mean, I understand like, maybe he should have stayed in college for like a year or two more, especially after like, his incident with his heart. But this had to happen, I guess, because we had to have that history making moment. But now, like
yeah,
Bronny gets to like develop on his own time now. Like I don't think the Lakers are gonna like force
yeah.
anything at this point. Like they did. Let's be real. Like they did force this moment, but I think everything now moving forward is gonna be about like actually developing him and seeing if he actually has what it takes, to
That's what
make
it
it to
takes
the
to make it in
NBA.
the league. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So
This
yeah,
moment is
and that's.
over. The spectacle. I think the spectacle of it is over.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hanging over everyone's head anymore. Like you said, they can focus on the game. Bronny can focus on his game, and we can see. Does LeBron have another season in him? Like that's where we are now. Like, will LeBron be in the league long enough to see Bronny mature enough to ball out?
Right. Right. Well,
I think that's the big question.
but I think that's going to be like maybe a year or two. And who knows if LeBron has it in him to like even keep going for that long. So we'll see.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
how will we feel? Okay, so let's do a checkup. So it's just the first game. It's only one game. Anthony
Mm-hmm.
Davis looked pretty good. We always
Yes.
hope that he stays healthy. I mean, last year he was pretty healthy, relatively speaking. But how are we feeling? How are we feeling? Let's do a checkup of the Lakers right now at the start of the season. How are we feeling?
I feel pretty good, honestly. I think they played well. Everything looked like it's supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
They did beat a slouch.
yeah,
They did not beat a slouch. The Timberwolves are a pretty good team. So
yeah. Timberwolves is a good team. Um, Anthony Edwards is Anthony Edwards doing his thing, and I feel like we did what we were supposed to.
yeah,
We're in a good
So,
we're in a good position. We're in a good position, I think.
as long as we're avoiding the play in, I think we'll be in a good we're in a good
Yeah,
spot.
yeah. I think we're in a good position. I imagine some things are going to change with lineup. I'm excited about JJ being there. It is, he's obviously a super smart guy when it comes to the game. He talks the talk.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see how his coaching develops and where it goes, and him like changing it's going to change the way people look at him, like both players and fans, which is it was going to be an interesting transition for him, I
Because he
think.
still looks like a player. That's the other.
Yeah,
That's the
because he
thing,
still
right?
looks like a player, and so
Yeah.
it'll be good. It'll be good to see though. I'm excited for it.
What did you think about them all wearing panda dunks? The whole coaching staff wearing panda dunks. I thought that was like, are we?
I
Is
wonder.
this
I feel like
2022 or something?
yeah. I wonder what the joke is. Like I
There
wonder
has to
what
be
the joke
something.
is. Yeah,
There
there's
has
some
to be
kind of
something.
there's some kind of like if you know joke for them all to wear pandas. I just don't know what that is. So I would love to know what that.
I'm sure
what
they'll
that
get asked
joke
about
is.
that at some point. I'm sure they'll get asked about that. But yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on to the sneaker side of the show, Jacques. Big news came out. I don't know if it was like just a couple of days ago, but Union, they have been known to
Yeah.
collaborate with Jordan Brand for quite a bit. They've done a lot of several highly successful collaborations. They've also done like
Yep.
some work with Nike. Now that one has had like varying degrees of success, but
Mm-hmm.
it looks look they're going back to what kind of got them out there, made their name famous, well, more famous I guess in the first place, is they are bringing back the Union Air Jordan 1 in the same style as their first Jordan 1 collaboration, which had the a classic colorway of the Jordan 1 on the
Yeah.
bottom, and then like the collar was a different colorway from a less popular Jordan 1.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
yeah.
I guess now what they're doing is a combination of the Chicago 1 and the Shadow Jordan 1.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And I'm curious though, is this like them trying to hit lightning in a bottle again out of desperation, or is it just like, hey, you know what, it worked once, why not give it another shot? Because
Well,
Union
I
hasn't
always-
really, oh good.
No, I love what Union and Jordan Union does with their collaboration with Jordan. I feel like they're very thoughtful in the way that they storytell and the way that they design.
Mm-hmm.
My challenge with this one is that it feels too similar to the other ones
Yeah.
that they released. It's almost like this is like the third colorway as opposed to, and it just doesn't feel different enough. I think that the black with the original one and the
Was it like the
gray, like
black toe?
the black toe. I don't
Uh-huh.
know. I felt like that black toe balanced that upper a little bit better,
Mm-hmm.
and now I feel like you lose some of that with this colorway.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel as electric, I guess.
Yeah, it doesn't have the same shock value as like the other one, the blue. Was it like the storm blue and the
Yeah,
it had the bread on for the collar. That was shocking.
yeah,
Like even to this day, you're like, oh, that is a really interesting combination. This feels like not shocking at all. It's more like, oh, this is what we expect. This is it's something that you like. This is something you would expect like a customizer or somebody who's like, hey, can you like, or you hire somebody to like do that yourself. Like you don't. It's
yeah,
not doesn't have that shock value. It doesn't have that like, oh, like let's try like a shattered backboard and like like a volt or something, like something like that,
yeah.
something wacky.
It's like it's almost like this is a like a what the, but with only two shoes.
which is what we thought, which kind of was what the Union Jordan one initially felt.
Yeah,
But this
like
one
that
feels
one felt like a wild what the. This feels like another. I don't know. This one it
another
just
one.
feels
It feels like
another
yes,
one.
It feels like those initial ones were like it was like you had the same feeling when you first saw the what does, like, oh wow,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
feels
yeah.
like year 5, because there was a time when Nike started doing what does yearly, right? And
Yep.
this feels like the 5th iteration of a what the, and you're like, well, okay, they
Yeah.
did it, it's interesting, but can we try something else or something like
Try something new. Yeah.
yeah, like I would be more interested if they had done something like I don't know how that would work, but if they had done something with like the 3s or the 4s. I know they've collaborated with the 4s, but if they had tried something of that nature with the 4s,
Yeah.
something like that. So going back to the 1, I figure it will do well. I think this is going to be like
Oh yeah,
a successful.
I don't doubt that it'll do well. And I mean, I would imagine I'll get a pair of these. I like the original ones, so I wear those
Mhm.
quite a, well. I haven't worn them in a while, but I wore them quite a bit for a little while. So
Yeah.
I would more power to them. I think they have a good thing going, and if this is their energy, I would love it. I guess I want to see them take more risk, like the design. I think before the design was the risk,
Mhm.
and now that people see that, they're not like, oh, okay, the design isn't the risk anymore. So now I think you got to be more playful with color,
Yeah.
or maybe with materials to tell us a different story.
I feel like I feel like maybe they think they have to be forced to like use an OG colorway and not try any of like anything else that's come out since.
Yeah,
Because OGs is what like the more the populace really resonates to.
yes,
Like I would like I said, like I would have loved to have seen like an attempt at something weird, like a shattered backboard or like a pine green or like a court purple, but maybe that wouldn't hit the same as the Chicago, because obviously it's
Right.
the Chicago ones. It like feels like they have to check that box off before they can try something else.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I think more power to them.
yeah.
They've done some obviously great stuff with Jordan, and I guess that's kind of the trend now. How long ago was that they released the Union Jordan ones? What
Oh my
year was
gosh,
that?
that was like 2017, 18 or something.
Oh,
I remember
okay, so,
being at that event when they launched it at the Jordan store in downtown,
oh, okay.
and like I think we were I think you were there too. Like
I
we
think
were all
I was
able to.
there.
I think we were all able to like get a pair of it, and not the blue one, the black toe one.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Like and that must have been like 2018, 2017 around that time. So it's been a minute. So like it has been long enough that they can try again, like go back to that well, but also it seems like it could have been something else. It could like I just feel like they could have tried something different, but I do
yeah.
understand.
They could have
like,
done something a little different.
like
But
it feels
I
like
mean, if that's their
it feels like a business decision. Like, it's like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah. That's their design language. That's their. I mean, I think that they're making this. This is going to be what how their their language. Like Undefeated has those muted colors and
mhm.
like that green and maybe this is kind of going to be like this is going to be our vibe. This is going to be our energy.
Right, right. Well, yeah, I mean, you hope for the best, and hope. I mean, people are like kind of complaining about the quality of the shoe already on pictures. I'm like, yeah, you can't really,
You can't do that yet. You can't do that yet until you get pairs in hand.
My first thought was like, no, we can't. Let's not do this. Let's not do this until people actually, like, get their hands on and actually like buy the shoe. Like, you can't really judge it on like these pictures, and who knows if these are just like samples or mock-ups or some like not even like the final production pair. So let's not.
Yeah.
I hate.
I doubt these are. Yeah, these are probably not production pairs. These are probably just early samples that got snuck out.
Yeah. So I try not to like, but it does bother me when people are like already like starting to trash something before it's even like out there. So, but it is what it is. I mean, that's just how the internet works.
Nature of the sneaker beast. The sneaker beast at its finest.
Well, somebody who's in the good graces so far of the sneaker internet and just the internet in general so far is Anthony Edwards. And so I wanted to talk about, like, he's got a bunch of commercials, man. Like,
yeah,
he's
man.
got Chipotle, he's got Adidas. I think he also has was he like in the 2K something? But like he's in a bunch of commercials and spots, and it's like it's just refreshing to see because we remember the old days when like when we watch a basketball game we see like everybody in like in commercials, and it feels like we've kind of gotten away from that, and everybody's just started going online and just posting clips on the socials and everything.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing it on TV, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's great to see. And Edwards is definitely that guy who has like that charisma, who can carry like a commercial. Like there's that one with Adidas where like there's this kid trying to like make a last second shot, and then everything like fades, and then it's just Edwards and that kid, and they're like, oh no, it's just as simple as like making that shot. Like you're trying this last second buzzer beater you're trying to make. It's no different when you were a kid trying to make like a paper, crumpled up paper and throw it into like the basket. It's no different than that. So you got this. And I think that was the tagline, is like, you got this.
Yeah.
And then you've got that cool Adidas spot, like it's on socials, where he was taking a lie detector test and kind of like throwing subtle shots at, well, everybody.
Everybody.
So, and I gotta say, man, I'm glad that we have like this kind of star back, because it's been a minute. Like, Nike tries with Wemby, but it seems like it's different with Anthony Edwards. Like, just because he has like that attitude, that swag, and everything.
Yeah, I think he has the charisma, the Riz. Sorry, I was gonna say the charisma, but who?
Oh man, the Riz. Yes.
He has the Riz. He has the energy. He has the personality for it. He's he talks a lot of trash. He also backs it up. So that also helps, but you never really know what he's going to say, and I think that's part of the appeal for him. Is he seems so raw and authentic to who he is, and it just makes it fun. It's a fun, young, youthful energy that's confident. It's what American dreams are made of. I mean, it's what the American masculinity runs on. The kind of energy that he gives, the fun, confident sort of thing. So it's pretty cool. It's cool to see it, and I love that they're taking stuff out offline and doing it in more traditional media. Like that stuff that only happened with like the biggest of stars, and them allowing Anthony Edwards to embrace all of that, I think is going to make him more and more of a household name and bring him more and more into the light, which is going to be better. Which is going to be better for him in the long run, especially if he continues to ball out the way he plays.
Right. And I thought an interesting thing about that commercial on the lie detector thing, there was a slight mention about the AE2, and he said,
yes.
Did he say something to the effect of like, it's coming? Like,
I know. I think he said when it's ready.
When it's ready. Yes. That's actually, and I thought that was interesting because it feels like we're in the extended months of like the AE1. Like I feel like this would have been the time where we start to see and really hear get teased, at the very least, about the AE2. Yeah. And so this kind of plays into, the story from like earlier this year where we saw like leaks of supposed. None of this has ever been confirmed by Adidas. And we talked about this on the show. We saw these supposed leaks of the AE2. And we gotta say, man, it did not look great. It was a really funky looking, what alien looking kind of sneaker, and
it didn't win any pretty points.
no, not at
Yeah, so,
all.
but also to push back on that a little bit, I think the industry has trained us that every year we have to see a new shoe.
Yeah.
And maybe we don't have to. Maybe let the AE live. What if it takes 2 years for there to get another one?
Right.
If
Yeah.
Can, as long as I think Adidas can sustain the energy of the shoe,
Yeah.
I think that's all we need. I don't know if we need to push a new design just for the sake of pushing a new design.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a good thought. I mean, I think the only ever since we've been doing this gig, I think the only signature shoe that I remember really having like a long shelf life besides like the initial year that they released, I think it was like the Kobe 8. But I think part of that was like, he was injured and everything. Like they just really had to like stretch it out. And that was just like a matter of circumstance. But I think that actually ended up being like a good thing for the Kobe 8 because, people look back on that shoe very fondly. And maybe part of it was because it was available for a very long time. And so maybe Adidas, the thought process behind it is, hey, you know what? This worked and we're still doing well with it. And people are still discovering it. Maybe that's the other thing too, is like, there are still some fans, like, new fans of Anthony Edwards who are just like discovering him, whether it's through the Olympics or just now this new season. They're just now starting to see Edwards, and maybe now they're like, oh, he has shoes. He has signature shoes. Let's go check that out. And, they probably have the data to back this up. It's like, hey, the arrow is still going up. The arrow, we haven't hit our peak.
Yes.
Like, it's still going up and to the right. It's still peaking. We still still haven't hit our peak yet. So, and that's why when Anthony Edwards said, when it's ready, I was like, oh, okay. But there is like a leak out there that's supposedly of the 82, and I think it does look better. But if it takes them a couple more months, or it stretches out to like All-Star break next year, or like beyond that, I don't think anybody should be like really upset. Like there shouldn't be like this, oh, we need it now. We need the sequel now. I think Adidas needs to like really. They need to get it right. I think the pressure's on with them.
I think that's the best way to put it.
To really get this right, because we talked about it on the show. They haven't had this kind of athlete in a very long time. Like, no offense to Kobe, T-Mac, and even they were not like, I don't like, Kobe wasn't at that point yet, like the way Edwards is. Like, by the time Kobe really ascended, he was already like on his way out, and T-Mac never really got there. I mean, there was a lot of love for the T-Mac scene. Like, I don't want to like throw shade at the T-Mac line. I remember liking a lot of those models, but it just wasn't it just doesn't feel the same. The energy just isn't there the same way that it feels like right now for Anthony Edwards. So Adidas just has to like really take their time and like, we have to get this right, because who knows when an athlete like this is going to come up again in their ranks.
Yeah, I would rather them get it right than to rush a new Anthony Edwards shoe out here. Yeah. We saw this with Rose, where it was like 2.5, 2.75, playoff 3. You know what I mean? We saw that kind of energy, and I don't.
You're right.
I don't think the culture can tolerate that sort of speed anymore. So I see why they don't do that anymore. But I also, like I said earlier, I don't feel the need for Adidas to rush. If it takes 2 years before you get a new one, cool. Introduce new colorways, introduce the low top version. Like, all of that's fine. But just give it time to get it right and not jeopardize the energy and the community that you guys have been able to build up. I don't want, like, because if they come out with something that's, panned by the community, that's just going to look bad for Anthony Edwards. Get it right. There's no rush. People are still buying the AE1. More people are finding out, like you said, more people are finding out about AE1 after the Olympics and everything that happened. So now casual watchers will start to know his name and learn his face. Let all that cook. Let that marinate, and then start looking for new things to do.
And you mentioned like the D Rose situation where he had like those like half step sneakers, right? And I feel like a similar situation happened with Under Armour when they got Steph. Like, they just released all of these sneakers all at once, and he's now on the current 12. And it's like, wait, has he been with Under Armour for 10 years? Or it doesn't seem like it, but he's already on the 12.
Doesn't seem like that.
Yeah, so there was definitely like a cadence where like he was releasing shoes so many times, and let's be honest, a lot of them were kind of forgettable at the end of the day, and like he even infamously got roasted for the Curry 2 chefs. And that was the second shoe, and that like we can't. Well, Adidas, like not we, but like I think we should be rooting for Adidas to not replicate what happened with Steph with Under Armour. Like AE cannot come, like Anthony Edwards cannot come out here with an AE2 chef and like get roasted on the internet. We can't have that happen. Like just for the betterment of like the sneaker community and just like for the health, the overall health of it. Because I want to see new stuff. Like, it's cool, like, we get the retros and all that stuff, but I like to see cool new stuff all the time. And so even if it takes a little bit longer, I think we'll all be like better for it at the end of the day. So yeah, just Adidas, do your job, man.
Keep cooking, like, Adidas. Keep cooking, Adidas. Keep creating those great ads. The ads are fantastic.
Yeah, that's definitely keeping that energy going, is those ads are like just throwing those subtle shots at like the Eastern Conference and other brands. Love it. Even Nike got into it. Like, people are like, what? Yeah, Nike posted those tweets out there after like, the game when the Lakers beat the Timberwolves, and was like, no lies detected. I'm like, I wonder what you're trying to say there. What you trying to say there, Nike?
Yeah. It's a non what is it? A non-answer answer. Answer.
And this is how Nike's affected, because they actually said something. This is not a Jaylen Brown situation where Jaylen Brown is shouting at the clouds and Nike is just going to be like, whatever, you go say whatever you want to say. Nike actually putting a tweet out there that is not so subtle response to like the ad. That's when they're affected. Like when you mention them, even if you don't say their name, the fact that you even acknowledge it just that little bit means that they are
living in their head rent free.
Feeling it, and I like it because it'll force Nike to actually up their game as well. So
yeah, we should see some interesting ads coming from Nike in the next few months.
Yeah, totally. Well, moving on, Jacques, to one quick topic before we move on to Rushmore. I kind of want to speed through this because I'm kind of over it. It's inside the NBA. They're heading into their final season. They're not going to be renewing their contract. It's going to be the last rodeo for Chuck, Kenny, Shaq, Ernie. And I gotta say, man, after watching that first episode of Inside the NBA and, just the pregame show and everything, I know people are sad. I get it. People are just like, oh, I don't want this to go. I'm going to miss the camaraderie. I'm going to miss the jokes. Mm-hmm. I'm kind of over it, man. Like, I'm just done. I'm done with Shaq. Just every retort is, I got 4 rings. I'm like, dog, you've been saying that for 20 years. I'm done with Kenny. Kenny has gotten to a point where he's just like a curmudgeon-y old man who just has nothing.
Oh yeah, nothing good to say. Nothing
Chuck,
good to say.
Chuck is still Chuck. I mean, he's always going to be great. Like, and you put him anywhere, he's plug and play. You put him anywhere, he's going to be great in any situation. But it's less about Chuck. It's less about Ernie. I love Ernie. Ernie Johnson is one of the best moderators, hosts, the GOAT, obviously. Totally, 100% agree. So Ernie and Chuck, I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss those interactions. But Kenny was great out the box. He was great. He had several years of great bits. It's just gotten old and long in the tooth, as they say. And Shaq is also plug and play to a certain degree, but also like you want him like in spurts. Like him in the situation where he's always there. And I get it. He likes to be a center of the attention and all that stuff. But I always felt like Shaq, on TV, not on the basketball. Basketball, he needs to be there. He's a big man. He's most dominant ever and all that stuff. But as a personality, I always felt he was better as the guy who makes like the random cameos or just goes in there. He's like a heat check guy. He like he's like the sixth man. Like you throw him in there for like 5 minutes, and he does all his best stuff and then bounces. Him just being around for like whole segments, not really contributing anything that even me and you can contribute to. Like we can offer those same kind of analysis. No offense to Shaq, but it's just I'm just done with it, man. Like I'm kind of over it. And also the other thing too is like it's NBC who's gonna pick up the coverage of the NBA. And in my mind, I'm already imagining like next year's intro where we're going to see Edwards, we're going to see Wemby, maybe LeBron's still around. We're finally going to hear those guys, and we're going to hear that iconic John Tesh music. And I'm just like, to me, that's worth more than like any like, you know, Chuck segment at this point. I'm like, and I know Chuck's going to be there at NBC next year, man. Like he's going to find a way.
He'll
like,
find
he's gonna
a
get
way.
out of his he's gonna get it out of his TNT contract, and he's gonna find a way to like make his way into NBC, and it's gonna be great. So I love Inside the NBA. There's part of me that's always gonna be sad that it's gonna be going away, but I'm also kind of like ready for it to go. So, you know, respect for all the years. Enjoyed it, and thank you for all the years of entertainment. But you know what, guys, like you know, go out on top. I'm not gonna say this is peak Inside the NBA, but like, you know, go out while you're still peak. Like, you know, people still love you. Not like, you know, not when you've worn up your welcome.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think I'm ready for them to go, but I'm not. Oh, I shouldn't say. I think I'm not ready for them to go. I still think the show is entertaining. I think you know, Shaq is going to be Shaq. Charles, you know, they all have their own personalities, and that's what we've come to love, like those idiosyncrasies.
Yes. Yeah. Quirks, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, their own quirks, and that's kind of why we love them.
Mm-hmm.
So, I do think it could get long in the tooth if it went on for like 5 more years. I think at this point it still has the good graces of people still love the show, people still watch the show, people still have fun with the show, and it still has that good fun energy. Mm-hmm. So they haven't quite jumped the shark yet, so to speak. So I'm still looking forward to watching this season, but seeing them go now will keep it in my head as the amazing show that it is. Like it doesn't, you know, it's not going to be in ruin. It's almost like thinking about LeBron. It's like, do we want to see LeBron as a 6 or 7 man coming off the bench on a team, or do we want to see him like, all right, he's bowing out while he's still balling out, bowing out while he's still balling out, kind of thing.
Yeah, and like it feels like a Vince Carter situation. And no offense, he just made the Hall of Fame, amazing career and everything, but those later years of Vince Carter, he was super sub. You know, he wasn't like doing the dunks. He was like, it's weird, like, you know, he became like a 3-point shooter. It's like weird to think of Vince that way, but you know, we kind of want to see if LeBron were to retire this year, it would be the equivalent of like Inside the NBA bowing out, you know? Yeah. But if it's like a couple more years from now, it'll feel like Vince Carter when he retired. It was like, oh, it's not the Vince that you remember, you know?
Right.
So
yeah, and I think I heard a stat the other night that him and Vince Carter have the same amount of years in the league now.
Yeah, I think yes.
With LeBron playing this year. Mm-hmm. And LeBron will have to play I think he has to play 2 more to beat Kobe or something like that, or something. Is it 2 more years to beat Kobe, or was Vince more than Kobe?
Yeah, no, I think Vince has the record. I think like LeBron, if he plays next season, I think he'll have the record. I think Kobe retired at 20 seasons. I think it was like just one team. I think it might have been like Kobe has the record for most years with one team. I think that was the record that Kobe had.
Oh, okay. So Vince does have it with 22. So LeBron and Vince are tied.
Yeah, they're tied now. So, yeah, I think maybe LeBron, like, you know, he'll keep going this season, and maybe like one more or 2. He's not going to hang around until Bryce is around.
No. Bryce is too young. Bryce is too young.
But yeah, so yeah, no, just a quick little thing about Inside the NBA. I love it. I will always have those memories of those guys, but as soon as I think about I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for the memories, guys. We'll see you. All right, so moving on to everybody's favorite sneaker segment. It is Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus time.
Rushmore. All that. All that.
Cool. So today, Jacques, we are going to be doing the Nike Doernbecher Freestyle Mount Rushmore Plus in honor of Doernbecher Children's Hospital revealing the 20th. Is it the 20th? The 20th anniversary collection. Along with that, they're also doing like a special Air Jordan 20. So today we're going to be doing the Doernbecher Mount Rushmore Plus. And there's a lot to choose from. And
Yes, there is a lot.
I was actually quite intimidated when I thought about this. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, there's a lot to choose from. So, and it's not the typical rules. It's not like, OG and all that stuff. So I thought it'd be interesting if we did it like this. One Jordan, one
Okay.
SB. It doesn't have to be SB Dunks, just basically something from the Nike SB category. An Air Max, because there's always an Air Max, and two wild cards.
Okay.
So, I forget who started last week. Was it me or you?
I think you started last week.
Okay. So, Jacques, you have the honors of going first. Then, what is your pick for the Doernbecher? What is your Air Jordan pick for the Doernbecher Mount Rushmore?
Mine is going to be the Jordan 5 for the Jordan.
Oh, right.
The Jordan 5 Doernbecher.
Yes.
That's
That is
just
the
like
one.
It's yeah, you can't beat that one.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a good one. That is a very good one.
Oh no, I guess. Well, there's one more that I think of that has a place, but that's
Okay.
that's the one for me.
Okay, for the 5. Okay, so you're going to go with the Air Jordan 5. I am going to go with the Air Jordan 3. That is the one that the red one,
the red
pair.
red one.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the first time I really heard about the Doernbecher program. Was those Jordan 3s. It was was it 2010 or earlier than that, maybe 2009 or 8. But it was the first time I heard about the program, and I was like, oh, that's a really cool idea about what Nike's doing. And I was like, oh, I would like a pair of those Jordan 3s. And it was one of the first instances where I was like, what do you mean I can't just buy them?
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean they're limited? What do you mean I can't just buy these sneakers if I want to?
Oh, God. Welcome to the story of Doernbecher.
Yeah. So yes, that was like a wake up call. It was both like a very cool thing that I saw. I was like, oh, that's a really neat, cool pair of Jordans, but also like a wake up call.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is a different world that I am entering.
It's a totally different world. Yeah.
Kind of always been aware of it, but not really really deep invested in it until that point. So I was like, yeah, oh, I can't just buy this, and it's worth how much? I have to go to Riff in LA to pay how much for it? Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right, moving on. So, Jacques, what is your SB Doernbecher?
SB, there was one from I think it was 2017 or 2018. It was a SB Dunk. It was a Dunk Pro, in like gold and green.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of it. I can't think of the kid's name. I can't. Gosh, what is the kid's name? It's like gold and green. Hold on, let me look it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like we want to highlight the kids who have also they're the ones who designed the shoes, so we want to always give our props to them for putting together that stuff. But yeah,
it's the Dunk Low.
While you're doing that, Jacques, I'm going to show since that's going to be your pick. It was the green and gold pair, right? I think I remember what that one looks like. So I'm gonna go while you go find that. I'm going to go share my pick for the SB, and it's a bit of a cheat. It's the what the Doernbecher. It was a limited one. It was a small number one. They only auctioned off one pair. And and it just featured different bits and pieces of the ones that had led up to that. It's like a SB Dunk High, and all of it had different design choices and picks from every one that had come before, not just the SBs, but So I'm gonna go with that, the SB Dunk High.
I like that one.
The Doernbecher, I guess is what they call it. So
yeah, so mine was by Joey Bates. He's the designer, Joey Bates. He's a Packers fan, and that's why that came out. That's why he had those colors on it.
Very cool. And there's and I just looked that up too, and there's actually a thumbnail of you unboxing.
I love it.
Yeah, it says how a SB Dunk Low Pro sold for $25,000. I'm assuming this is from the auction.
The auction,
when they first revealed it, Okay, so for my pick. Oh no, go ahead. No. Oh, that's right.
I think for Air Max, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to go with the Air More, which is, I guess, technically like an Air Max. So the Air More Up Tempo by Brody Miller, the one that had BPM on the side.
That said BPM. Yeah, those are cool.
Yeah. Those are dope. I love it. I still have a pair. I haven't worn them yet, but I absolutely love that sneaker.
Yes. All right, so for my pick for the Air Max Doernbecher is going to be the Air Max 96. It's the Triax pair.
Hmm.
It's red, white, blue, black, and then I thought it was pretty neat because this has a little icon of Snoopy on it. So I thought
Hmm.
that was pretty neat. So I'm gonna go with that one. So
Okay,
yes,
and
the
then
Air Max
for
9.
this is next
This
is
was
wild card, or
no,
do
no,
we
no.
have
This is
one
my Air
more?
Max. Yeah, Air Max. So now we're into the wild card section where we just pick
Okay,
whatever
we get
we.
two wild
Yes, we get two.
cards.
Yes, we get two. Yes.
Okay, so my first one is going to be the Air Jordan 4 by
Ah,
Isaiah Scott, the one with the Superman logo on the tongue.
yes, that was a good one.
That's just so good. So
Mhm.
that's me. I'm rocking with that one.
Yes, yes. For my wild card, I'm gonna go with like the Air Penny. There was an Air Max Penny. It was a
It was
silver
like
pair.
gray, right? Oh,
Yes,
silver.
it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
silver.
silver.
Yes, and it had like a 49ers logo on it. The kid who designed it was a 49ers fan, so gotta kind of have to like rock with that one. So I'm gonna go with that one for my wild card pick. First wild card pick.
Okay, and then for my second one, I think it was from last year.
Mm-hmm.
And this is really kind of like a trend pick, I guess, is the Vomero. The Vomero in like the yellow and orange.
Yes,
By
yes, I remember that
Jaron
one.
Heacock. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was a good one. It's a good one. It has like that. It was like a almost you could put Velcro on it. You could put Velcro stuff and like patches on top of it. It was really good. Very
Yeah,
comfortable too, by the way.
yeah. Well, Vomeros are, yeah, definitely. So
True.
for my final wild card pick, I'm going to cheat also. I think I've done that twice already. So it's going to be another pair that's going to be out for auction. It's the Air Jordan 20 that's going to be out for auction now. There's only
Oh, the
20
new
pair.
one. The
Yeah,
new one.
there's
Yeah,
only
yeah,
20
yeah.
pairs. Again, the reason why I chose that is because on the laser etched strap, it's gonna have like different. It's gonna have like every kid who has designed like a Doernbecher shoe, like little like a little
Mm.
insignia of like their names or initials or like something
Oh,
about that
that's dope.
shoe. So that's why I wanted
Yeah,
to like do that one. It's kind of like the SB Dunk like years prior. So this one is kind of like the follow up to that with the Air Jordan 20. And also, I'm a big fan
I
of Air Jordan
respect that.
20. Like the Air Jordan 20
I
is like a very divisive shoe. It was one of the first Jordans that I actually ever bought with like my own money. Like I was like,
mm.
oh, like okay, cool. Like the Jordan 20. So that is going to be my pick for the wild card.
uh, I have never owned a Jordan 20.
Oh, really? Yeah, it's a tough wear.
Maybe
Admittedly, it's a tough wear. So, but
I mean, maybe I have one in storage somewhere. I don't think so though.
yeah,
I don't recall. Maybe someone sent me a pair, but I don't think I have one.
yeah. Like I remember it was when it came out, I was like, oh, that is a weird looking shoe, and that was like college. Like, I think I was like
Yes.
maybe our first or second year of college. And
Yeah.
we're all broke boys back then, so it's like I need to save up for that one. So I'm like,
100%.
and I remember buying it like at a Big Five or something, and when you can actually still buy Jordans of that nature at a Big Five
At
or
a big
something.
five. Wow.
Yeah, and I was
I did
like,
not expect to hear that sentence.
yeah, exactly right. So I'm like, oh, cool. I find like, oh, these. Boy, it's gonna be tough to wear these, man. It's got like that ankle strap that like wraps around.
Yeah,
Like
I remember when I saw them. I saw somebody come to the gym in a pair, and I was just like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm not
and I,
ready.
yeah, and I had that brutal realization too when I like hooped up in them in the first time, and I was like, oh my heels are getting scratched up, man. I had to wear like some thick socks after the first time. I was like,
Yeah,
I gotta wear like I got a
those.
double socket now with these ones.
Yeah, that's not an ankle sock sneaker. That's not an ankle sock
No,
sneaker at all.
absolute no. I wasn't wearing ankle socks then, so I wasn't wearing that, but I was wearing like regular like socks. But I was like, yeah, if I'm gonna hoop in these, I gotta double up. But like wearing them casually, I wouldn't even put the strap. I wouldn't like secure it as
Yeah,
much as I.
wouldn't secure the strap at all.
No, no, no,
Yeah,
no. It was pretty loose and free when I was just walking around like campus in those. So.
that's
All right,
wild.
so
That's funny.
cool, cool. All right, so that is it for episode, was it 10? 10
Yeah.
episodes of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. Thank you again for everybody for listening, watching. Definitely appreciate that. Subscribe, comment, leave the 5-star reviews on all the
Leave a
places.
review. All the
If
good
you
things.
if you have a question, oh, that is what I forgot. We'll do it next week. But I did have like a mailbag question. We'll do it next week. So, but if you do have a mailbag question, leave it here at toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. Again, it is toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. So, thank you again for watching. I am your co-host Juan Martinez and Jacques Slade.
I am Jacques Slade, and we'll see you guys soon. Peace.
All right, we out.